Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a look around some more of the outposts, having a look at some more of the player-built ships in the Underworld. So the first outpost that we're actually in here and doing a quick look through is the GBU base. Now we saw a bit of this in the previous tour video, so I'm going to show you some of the new stuff. So you can see they've actually fleshed out this area, built some more. There's a landing pad, you can see the construction using the heavy, thick armoured blocks there. Some of the larger little fighters that they've got docked up to the ceiling, very cool indeed. And as we continue working our way out, you can see that they've actually continued developing the outer area of the tunnel. Now of course they needed to expand further, and they built themselves a full landing pad out here. So we've got the big brick miner there, we've got ourselves some other large ships. So you can see these are starting to arm themselves with missile launchers, and this is going to make for some rather interesting battles. These larger ships can take a lot more of a punch than the lighter craft, but at the same time it's going to be interesting to see how players use them. They've also got this orangey black ship that I saw taking shape last time that looks like some sort of carrier. They've actually got ships mounted to the back of it, and they've got themselves a rotor control turret. I just wonder how stable that thing's going to be. So a bit of a carrier and a few miners and welders, of course. Anyway, let's head on to the next outpost. So now we're over at the SSA Base. What we've got here is their lovely tunnel design that's been extended and changed up ever so slightly. So we'll just work our way down to the bottom of the shaft here. You can see they've got some added hangar bays, I do believe, and they've also got this section that they're continuing to work on. Now, what their newest addition, of course, is another one of these spiral tunnels. I think these guys are working on something big, and a lot of the factions are at the moment. So if we just cut through this little piping tunnel, you can see they've actually got a much larger hangar here. And down there, it looks like they've got a blueprint for some sort of project, but I'm not too sure how far along they are with this or what the plan is exactly for this area, but the base of SSA is expanding. Anyway, let's continue on. So many of you ask about the smaller factions. Now here we have the hashtag faction, otherwise known as Murloc. Now he's got quite an interesting concept going on here. He's got a base that's everything seems to be on the surface, so I'm in debate if he's going to plan on packing everything aboard this ship and explore the Underworld, and that's something I'd recommend for solo players. Build yourself a ship and stay mobile so you can't be tracked down. There's also this interesting little device on the back here. This looks like a rotor control turret that he'll be able to use. It reminds me of something you'd see in sort of Star Citizen. I can't wait to see this base and the ship evolve itself. It's nice to see what the solos are doing as well. Anyway, let's continue on. So we're now heading over to the ADI Outpost. Now many of you loved their base and some of their creations from the last server tour, so let's have a look what they've got. They've got themselves some sort of giant torpedo that's lurking here in this corner of the cave, and as we continue working our way through to the main base like we've seen before, they've managed to finish construction on some of the larger ships and they've got them docked up here. What's pretty cool about them is we've actually got ourselves a little bit of a hangar bay in here, and of course down there on the right is Ricardo, so you can see he's of course right there. Great, perfect, just what we need on every ship in this game. More pictures of Ricardo. So as we enter into the actual outpost, let's swing ourselves around. Now we're a bit more orientated. We've of course got the smaller hangar. Not much has really changed here. The layout has been refined a little bit. They've parked a few more ships to the left and right, but the majority of the base has actually remained the same. Of course they've got all the signs up and the propaganda. So let's just enter into the other tunnel and see what they're working on over here. So their torpedo launcher of course has been finished. They've got that out and it's been tested, I believe, in action. Over here they're working on another strange looking large ship. I'm only concerned of what this could possibly be. And down here of course they've got another small hangar bay with another fighter and something that looks really cool, almost like a fish looking plane ship. Very unique and cool design by ADI. So around the back really not much has changed. They've added a few more bits to the processing and assemblers, but for the majority of it this outpost has remained the same, and they focused their efforts on construction of some of these large ships that you're seeing out here, and I wish them the best of luck. Anyway, let's continue on with our tour. So now we've headed over to one of the smaller factions once again. Now this is COJ's little outpost. They've got themselves a little bit of landing pad strutting out from the side, and as we enter in, this was the base with the cage, and of course they've still got the to-do list. So lock Aaron in the dungeon is number 5. That I would be a little bit concerned about, but they've disabled or taken away the Aaron cage here, so I don't really know what the plans are going forward. So if we continue, we actually enter into their small shaft. They've got a welding ship connected up here, so it's interesting to see what they'll actually try to build, and these silos that players are building are really cool, really quite unique. And down here at the bottom they've got some sort of pad that's spotlighted, so who knows what they're going to be doing in there. Maybe they're going to be building some sort of weapon, missile, torpedo. Who actually knows? Anyway, let's continue on to have a look at one of the other outposts. So we've headed down into the depths of the DBS base. Now this outpost is one of my favourite underground cavern sort of locations. So as you can see here, we've got various different hangars, and what they've done here is they've massed a lot of the ships in some of the locations so the members can simply grab a ship and off they go. They've also got one prepped and prepared, ready to print. And you can see throughout this place they've just got a fantastic variety of both utility and fighters, some really heavy fighters down here as well. But you can also see they've got that big drill ship in the centre there, as well as a number of different docking stations. Now these different docking stations, I believe they work with the different members. For instance, you can see you've got Greece, you've got some of the other guys, each one of them having their own hangar. This ship, even though it looks like it has its own sort of guided missile, perhaps, that they can actually control. And behind the ships they have themselves some living quarters that I really like the look of, really quite nice design. So you can see if we go up to the upper deck, they've got themselves the logo, they've got themselves a little bit of an access list and a to-do list like any good faction should have. So a real nice selection of ships going on here, and probably quite a formidable faction. Anyway, let's get out of here and head over to the next location. So we're now at the ONI Outpost. These guys have a serious carrier project on their hands, something that I am very excited to have a look through. Of course, it doesn't look like it's quite finished, or they've got their fighters docked up to it, but you can see that this carrier could, well, transport a lot of ships around the map and deliver some quite scary firepower. So as we have a look throughout the ONI base up on the surface, you can see we've got a fish there at the back. On the right we've got ourselves some sort of small utility ship, and then we've also got a few interesting little transport vessels. So you're going to have to give it a second every now and then because we're loading in so much more blocks, different ships. So this looks like some sort of utility vessel. Oh, it's a cargo transport perhaps for welding. So you can see we've got some pipes coming out here, just adding a bit of detailing, as well as some fighters docked there, as well as that large fish. So back in here we've got ourselves like almost a fake hangar, I would say. There's not much in there, but you could also park a ship that you wanted to leave on the surface. Now if we dive into their hull, that I have to say this is once again another one of my favourite bases. There's loads of bases on the server that I absolutely love, and it's just for different aspects. So as we enter through their hangar doors, we'll notice we've got another sort of circular type structure, this one being a bit larger than the other base we've already looked at. They've got themselves some large landing pads around the side with various things docked, some really cool looking plane type ships designed into here, and we've also got some war fighters in that section. So if we continue into the hole, it looks like they're trying to mine out a little bit more as well with that funky mining ship. Overall, another really cool base. Can't wait to see how this one comes along further, and especially that giant ship outside. Now that thing is definitely going to be worrying. You can see they've also added the hangar doors on the back here, or the airtight hangar doors, to add a bit of protection. A lot of work needs to happen to this to get it battle ready as well. It needs to be armed up, but I can see they're already starting to gear this thing towards war, and it's going to be just damn cool to see this thing floating around in the underworld. Looks like they've also got a little projector there of some of the other ships. Is that a little fish that they've got there? I can't quite tell. Really cool designs anyhow. Let's continue on to the next location. So now we're heading down into the depths of the MDK base. This is another one of them outposts that's taking shape. I really do quite like the cathedral-like rounded ceilings of this particular outpost. Of course, there is a lot of work to be done down here. They've got themselves the drill ships that are already carving their way out, and they're working on the refinery systems. I'm hoping to see this develop a lot further as this faction progresses. We've also got all this area to weld. You can see the welding ships on standby there, and we've got some of these hangars located back here. I've got big hopes for this base, like with a lot of the outposts that start out. But the thing that you've got to consider when you're building like this is, are you going to focus your power of your faction on building a big base, or are you going to focus on getting some war vessels up? Because there really isn't too much in terms of combat vessels that I can see here, unless they've hidden them somewhere else. Anyway, let's continue on. So let's take a look at the final base. So what we actually got here is the outpost that we saw under construction last time. Now I made the mistake of saying it was 3D printed. So they've actually added an exterior to this place, various little catwalks and gantries, and it just really stands out, that black and white colour. It pops. If I turn the lights off, of course, you can actually see how dark this location is. Over here to the right, they've got themselves the various docking pads that have been numbered. It just looks fantastic. There's some utility ships as well as fighters that have been tucked in there. It looks like this area is going to continue to be expanded as well. So as I head into this next area, you can see we've got some great interior detail with various different ships on some projectors. I might have to have a word, of course, because there's a lot of projectors going on that can cause some issues in performance, but we can continue working our way through. So if I turn the lights out once again, this is what you're seeing as you're entering through this catwalk area. Just darkness. The Underworld is a dark and scary place. Now the whole of this section is production. You can see it's been color coded, and we saw this when it was being constructed in the last server tour. So the last thing I'll show you is this area over here. Just look how he's connected up this pipe. He's used the yellow colour and he's just connected it under the ground there up to a hydrogen system that's separate. So of course, if there's an explosion with the hydrogen system, it's not going to take his base with him. We still have this tunnel down here, though nothing to be constructed in it. Anyway, that is the last part of this tour, and all in good time, because my computer might die with the amount of things it's trying to render in here at once. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and make sure you let me know which is your favourite base in this video. Don't smash into the side because it won't make it look very good, will it?
Fuck.
Perfect, just what I needed. Thanks, Snipes.
Please don't film this part. This is where
Aaron, if you're recording that, please.
Wow, there's some extra quality content for the end of the video.
Can we try that again?